Taz Erickson has been struggling to save to buy a home. He and his partner decided to move into his parents' house in the Sunshine Coast while they get a deposit together.
It's such a huge portion of money that you need behind you, and my fiance and I don't have that as yet, so we are looking to reduce rent, and being able to live with mum and dad is a cheaper option for us.
He says even if he borrows more than 8 times his income, he's still getting priced out of the market.
Yes, I would love to book an inspection if I can for this weekend. Well, we often see a house on a street that we're driving through and we look it up or we Google it, but it ends up going for $1.5 million or more. It's just ridiculous.
New data shows it's taking first home buyers more than 11 years to save a 20% deposit for a median priced home. Australians are now spending more than 40% of their income on mortgage repayments compared to a decade average of 36%.
I think the challenge is that for the first time in a long time, it's coming off the back of higher interest costs. So that might be a shock to some first home buyers.
Rising interest rates are a double-edged sword for first home buyers. On the one hand, economists say they're likely to make houses cheaper, but on the other, they'll reduce the amount that people can borrow and increase their monthly repayments.
Housing experts say unless wages start to rise, people who borrowed at more than 6 times their income to buy a home will face financial hardship.
Unfortunately, we're in the world at the moment where real wages are actually going backwards because of inflation. And so if we don't see really big wage rises over the course of the next couple of years, it will be harder for people to service those larger mortgage repayments.
He says it could also worsen generational inequality.
Our retirement income system is contingent on the idea that people own their own home in retirement. Roughly half of renters in retirement are in financial stress and poverty today. So if we don't do something about this, we're setting a lot of people up for a really tough financial situation when they get to those retirement years.
Taz wants to see election policies aimed at helping first home buyers while reducing tax breaks for wealthy investors.
I think it's very unfair. I think if you own a couple of houses, it's easier to get your 4th and 5th and onwards, but it seems to be almost impossible to get your first.
Without changes to housing policy, home ownership might get further out of reach for yet another generation of Australians.